cat parent moment. Yeah. He caught it off a cardboard box and everything. Such a clever boy. Good morning. How are you? Talking about my cat, by the way, not my son. He's not called Malcolm.
No.
And
he could definitely catch sellotape off a box.
Catch
He'd probably tell you the composition of sellotape and where it's made.
Possibly.
Yes.
Possibly. Whilst wrapping his sister in it. How are you? Welcome to... Well, we normally call this Workshop Wednesday, don't we? But it's sort of morphed into Witchy Stitchy Wednesday because of our resident Witchy Stitchy Witch. Which way round?
Stitchy Witch, I think.
Stitchy Witch, that's the one. Jane Alcock, who is looking fabulous in red today. I love that colour on you.
I'm having a day when you think, right, I'm going to wear red today. Some days you just feel like it.
Right. I mean, the beautiful thing is you project so well, we can still hear you, but just
it shouldn't be off.
quietly than usual.
Oh, do you know what helps if I put batteries in the receiver? We said this, didn't we, Jane? We were stood here with a couple of minutes to go, going...
Well, you just adjusted mine, didn't you, and said, people aren't going to hear you if it's facing that way.
Oh! And because I didn't hear anything from Josh, I assumed we were all good.
Oh, he's just messaged you.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, so I completely ignored Josh's message.
We can still hear you quite well.
Quite well. Morning!
James' mic is like, yeah.
You adjusted it so well it picks up you too.
You only missed cat talk. It's fine. I don't think you missed anything of any importance. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Stitchy Witchy Wednesday / Workshop Wednesday. Well, there you go. You're all caught up.
Yeah, that was it in
a nutshell. I just managed to spread it out over 2 minutes. Amazing. Let's see. You see, here we go. Oh no, live. Here we are.
Didn't you and said, people aren't going to hear you if it's facing that way.
There we are. Coming out again on that delay. Much much better. Josh is just laughing.
Well, at least we've made somebody's day.
We've made somebody laugh. There we go. Well, I've had a lovely morning so far.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah.
It involved
I've got
a
it all
motorway.
over and done with already this morning. I've had my 3 things. I'm fine now.
Jane poked her own eye out with, well, not out, but poked her own eye with her mascara. Hate it when that happens.
It just makes such a mess, and it's the last thing you do with your makeup, isn't it? And then you have to start all over again.
Lost your keys and then got stuck on the motorway.
Yeah.
It's all good. We've got cups of tea, cups of coffee, and we're all good to go. Right. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah. So, the Beaujolais. Why I need to move this now? I'm bored of this. It's in the way. I can't see your beautiful work.
No, it just, yeah. Well, it's beautiful, but yeah, it's time for it to move out the way and make room for the
and allow. Yeah. So, Jane's Bargello, made out of Cafe Facet fabrics from the collective. They are stunning.
They certainly
They are stunning. Now, you see, I always go for the big, bold florals, and I kind of feel like that's my comfort zone. And you're the opposite end of the spectrum. You go for the smaller ones, don't you?
Yeah, because I'm a patchworker predominantly, and we use little pieces. I'm more drawn to the ditzier prints.
Yeah, and so
But
you've taken the smaller prints from. This is why we work so well as a team. You've taken the ones that I go, can't make a bag out of that. Well, I could.
Yes, of course you could.
I could, and I have, but it's not the point. And you've made something incredibly stunning. It's coming in 3 different colourways. We will go through that now. Did I or did I not promise you something magnificent for your Half Me to Heavens tomorrow? Did I? Yes, I did. You can tell I've had coffee this morning.
I am buzzing this morning. You don't need caffeine anyway. I mean, caffeine is just like your natural state of affairs.
Yeah, if I had to be an element. Is caffeine an element? Can we?
It is now.
Is now. Can you tell that I got B for my chemistry?
I didn't do chemistry.
Oh well, there we go. Yeah, it's
There's
definitely
no
an element. Well,
us.
no, it's not on the. It's not on like the periodic table,
No,
is
it's
it?
not.
Caffeine.
No.
If I had to be a substance, there we go. That's the word I want. Caffeine might be it. / Duracell bunny. Anyway, so yeah, where were we? Half Me to Heavens. I promised you something spectacular, and I promised you that we were clearing out the warehouse to make way for new things.
Nice new things.
3-hour meeting with a supplier yesterday later. Jane, you and I have got to talk. So much to organise. Yes, so it means that this week, a lot of our half meter heavens, now there aren't many of each. So, you know, I know that some of you stay up until sort of the witching hour to get, witching again, to get the ones that you want because they go live at midnight tonight. But we have paired them very specially and spectacularly, mainly with Moda grunges, haven't we?
Yeah.
So normally we'd put it with just a plain. And they are great planes. Like they are Okiotechs and all that malarkey are planes. They are really good planes. But this week we've got bits and bobs left of the Moda grunges. They need to go. Again, they're another one that are difficult to look at the screen and go, is that going to go? So, check this out! Yeah! We've had so much fun doing these this morning, haven't we, Jane?
Yes.
So, bunny hop. We have a couple of these left. And it's going with a Moda star. A Moda grunge star.
That could do with an iron.
That could do with an end of bolt. Could do with an iron. You can do that. And then we have got for your oh, this is a Lewis and Irene one. I love this one. And we've put it with one of their, not bubblegums, bumbleberries. That's the one. Beautiful.
I just thought it made the flowers pop on
this bit.
that colour.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And of course, you know, Lewis and Irene, you're getting a metre of Lewis and Irene for $9.99. What is going on, Jane? What? Tell me. Oh,
anybody think we'd need some shelf space?
Well, do you know what? Yes, exactly. Oh, now this was very special. This is Anna Maria Horner. Again with the seeing stars. Look at that. Look what it does to that.
It also makes that pink
lift. It does make the pink pop, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, they're all talking about your Bargello. We'll get back to that in a minute. Oh, Karina, happy birthday. She says, I've just opened my birthday card for my daughter and found some wonderful gift vouchers for me to spend with you.
Oh, how lovely.
Happy birthday. Yeah. Gorgeous. Oh, Leanne had crazy thunder and lightning. We'll say hello to you all in a minute. I seem to have jumped ahead. I've got overexcited with myself. Loving this. Wow. And to get Moda with it as well.
I was going to say
two designer fabrics for $9.99.
Stunning.
Oh, we have 3 of these, and that is it. This is a Moda Tory. But look at all those different purples, and I am loving that because it's this pinky purpley bit that's picked out through there, and then this purpley bit just works through with all the blues. Lovely. Fold it that way. Can we have a little bit of love if we're loving these? Because, you know, we do. Is that enough, Jane? Is it enough that just we love them?
I think it shows, doesn't it? I think the love is transferred.
Oh, transferable love. Oh, now, you know how on this one it's got the, I don't want to say beige, but it's kind of beige.
Yes, it's like a sandy.
It's a sandy colour, but when you put it here, look what it does to these turquoises in there, and it makes these gold rather than beige.
Yes, really picks them out.
Isn't it beautiful? So again, I hesitate to say use that as your lining and make it pop, but do one of those linings where you use a quite heavy, like a Styleville fix, so that it then looks like you've done a bound edge around the top. Are we loving these? Oh, now this one. This is one of my favourites. I've got lots of favourites this morning.
We had this fun this morning, didn't
we did. Once we got over the eye poking and stuff. That makes it sound like I didn't poke your eye. You did that all by yourself. You needed no help from me. Yes.
Absolutely.
And thrice yes. Look at it. Oh. And just all these different greens that are in the grunge.
But it also lifts the red, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
It just makes it...
Don't be put off by the name grunge.
No, it's an unfortunate name because it's such a lovely fabric. It's almost like a shot silk effect,
Yes.
isn't it? Because
Yes.
it's got 2-3 colours in it that are just shaded, and it reminds me of just when you distress furniture.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 5 different colours in it.
Yeah.
Just this one fabric here. But look at this.
And again,
Oh,
it just, the richness of the
how
purples
rich,
and the
yeah.
reds, it's lovely.
Doesn't it do it? Oh, this is the one that Inga didn't want us to do.
Yeah, she's like, no,
She's like,
I need this fabric.
but that's my red. You can't, no, that's my red. I'm doing things with that red. I'm like, well, you haven't, Inga. It's been sitting on the shelf. You haven't done things with that red. She's like, but I could. Yes, but you haven't. Do we have to sell it? Yes. Was basically the conversation
over the fabric. I'm like, this is my fabric. I'm going to have this, and then I don't have it, and I'm like, no, you can't sell it.
You can't sell it. I haven't finished stroking it yet. Oh dear. Now I love this, and I've got this in a jersey to make some pyjama bottoms in.
That's going to be gorgeous because it's got like a tapestry effect to it. It's beautiful.
It looks like a lot of work has been done to it.
Yeah.
It's a Pat Bravo one for Art Gallery Fabrics. It's from the Nuncia range, and it's got a really pretty name that I really can't remember, and but it's absolutely stunning. And this is the perfect grunge for it because it's got those deeper colours. It just works beautifully.
It really sets it off nicely.
Yes.
Softens the greens and brings those peachy pinks out.
It does everything it needs to do. I love this. Absolutely love this. And I cannot wait to make my pyjamas. Have 5 minutes spare to make my pyjama bottoms out of those because it's going to be gorgeous.
They'll be really comfy.
They will.
It's gorgeous.
Now a little bit of Moda and Moda. This is Christopher Wilson Tate's Zarafa. And this is we've got 5 of these and then it's all gone. But you've got the blue in this red and the red, so it was the perfect combination. And it would have been rude not to, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely together.
Yeah.
Lovely together.
Oh, lots of love for that one. Yeah. I think you're going to love this one. I've got 7, and then that is the Orchid Gone. This bolt owner came in last week.
I know the orchid's always popular, but with that grunge, oh yes.
I mean, right.
There's a bit of grey in that orchid, and it's in that grunge as well, so it just mirrors it beautifully.
All in there. All of these colours are in here. This was one of the ones that I used on my bouquet.
On your bouquet, lovely.
My everlasting bouquet, or bucket, as Inga's calling it. Can you print me off, Maury, for your everlasting bucket, please?
We love a giggle here. It's always good fun.
It's like keeping up appearances, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now this one. Oh, we've got 2 of these.
Yes.
That's it.
All were it.
But this is where the grunges are just so perfect. It has the purple, the green, and the turquoise that's all in there. It would have been rude, I tell you, Jane, to have put it with any other fabric.
It just, yeah, it's perfect.
Really rude to have put it with any other fabric. So I feel like the florals are getting a bit of a flash this morning, aren't they?
Definitely.
Oh, now you picked this one, and I think you picked really, really well because I've never really noticed the leafy colour behind in this. This is a Tilda.
Tealy turquoise colour.
In fact, I'm going to just swap this over so that you can see it. Can you see how Jane has magically managed to find
for some
just the right
reason,
shade?
it makes the centres, the little pinky red centres, really pop on it.
I've got 3 of those, and that's it. That's the Tilda gone and done. Right. Oh, now we had fun with these.
Yes.
We had fun with these. These are the glow in the dark, the very last of the glow in the dark, Lewis and Irene. But look, Jane's found the yellow, and doesn't it pop with the it's just perfect. Yellows and purples, just great together.
Yeah, lovely.
Zing, zing, zingity zing. We've got 4 of those, and that's it. Love that. Oh, and then this one, because this one's got like a chartreuse
in it, chartreuse.
Is that right? I don't know. Claire's watching. She'll tell me. She'll
Yeah,
always tell me if I get it
she'll
wrong.
tell you.
Because I'm a language is not my forte. Here we go. Just yes, just the whole thing. Just yes, loving this absolutely, and just the fact that these are as big as just
Yeah.
Poof!
All-stars, chunky.
love it, love it, guys. When these are gone, they are gone. These aren't going to come back. Oh, now yes, we auditioned quite a few for this fabric, didn't we?
We tried a lot.
We did try a lot, and this one, it's just this deep colour through here and here, but doesn't it then make everything else go, hello? With jazz hands almost.
Yeah, with jazz hands. Always.
And this is, again, this is an Anna Maria Horner one.
It's how it makes that limey green of the petals
Oh,
go.
yes.
Woohoo!
Oh, hi. Oh, hey, here I am. You look at your birds in there, the discreet birds. It's all good. It's all good. But again, when this is gone, it's gone. I almost thought I might have enough to do a bag show. But if they go, they go. And we won't. Oh, now, Jay. Oh,
there's
two. Look at you.
Yeah, there's a little
bit of Lewis. It's a double bubble, Lewis
Yeah.
and Irene, isn't it? So you've got your Lewis and Irene here with your bunnies. And then we've put it with one of their own bumbleberries, so you know that works treat. We've got, two of those. Okay, don't get too excited. Two of you are going to... What just fell over?
I think the bouquet fell down behind.
The bucket. The everlasting bucket.
Your everlasting bucket.
Oh, now, Swanky Pants.
Just a little bit of
With a bit of liberty.
Yeah,
you know.
Tuck it in.
So we have one of these. That
Yeah,
was all
that
we had left.
Soft yellow of that Liberty just picks out the lemony
Doesn't
colour
it?
in there.
But we only had one. We had half a metre left. What are you going to do with that? So, yeah, with the bunny hop. I mean,
Just a pretty treat.
just.
So pretty.
Oh my gosh, we've got another one.
You've got a great big
Just when you thought we were done. Oh no. Here we go. This one, I love the colours in this. Again, this is another Pat Bravo. I love her stuff.
She's got
And
a
this
really
is
lovely
with
design.
Papaya Punch. And again, all of these different peaches and pinks and even down to the gold, all in that fabric. Perfect. This is why we love a grunge. What was the name of the shade of the grunge with the orchid, please?
Oh, it's a lilac-y one, isn't it? Is it?
Bear with me. I don't know. Was it written down? Oh, I
Should
don't
be written
know.
on the label.
It hasn't got a label.
Oh, Inga did write the label.
Did it have a label? Has it got a label? Pass. Oh, it might be on the selvage. Hang on. Oh, no, here it is. Freesia. I wrote it. I should know. I should actually know, shouldn't I? I love what you've done with this, Jane.
Thank you.
Absolutely perfect.
Is that the faded denim, that one? That
that is the faded denim.
Yeah, because there's a little smidge of turquoise in there that is just turquoisey blue in that night
There
sky.
is, and there's also that grey,
Yeah.
which is your background. That again, it's absolutely perfect, just perfect.
I could see a young man's lunch bag in that.
Do you know what? Yeah, he's not too far away. Oh, no, just beautiful. So again, your bumbleberries from Lewis and Irene, just echoing beautifully. All of these florals in here, it's just delightful, and the exact tones and exact shades. We are really treating you this week, aren't we?
We're definitely spoiling them.
Definitely spoiling
Definitely
you.
spoiling them.
And again, a bumbleberries. This is the border clocks. I love this.
I think the clocks just are enough, and that cream just is soft enough just to highlight the creams in there, but not overpower it.
It's what
and
it
you
needs,
could make
isn't
a
it?
beautiful bag with a half metre like that,
Wouldn't it
and
be
the
stunning?
cream inside. I know people don't like a light lining, but sometimes you
Well,
need
then
a
you
light
can
lining
find
so you
stuff.
can find stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, now this had to be, and this was in the fat quarter bundle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This gold spot here that picks out the gold spot that's in the middle of the honesty, just perfect. Or love in the mist.
Yeah.
Love in the mist. Oh, love this and love this, because it makes the eyes pop.
Yeah. And there's again, there's that turquoisey which is in the background in that
Look,
green.
look, you've got in here. Can you see you've got greens and all sorts, and they're all in here. that is the beauty of the grunge. The trouble with the grunge, I find, is it doesn't photograph very well.
No, it tends
It's
to look
really hard to
a bit
photograph,
drab, doesn't it? And it actually doesn't give you the movement of colours that are within it.
Lewis and Irene, what can I say? Utterly perfect. Again, why is it I keep thinking lunchboxes?
Yeah, I think they'd be
With
perfect
these.
with those.
I think
the
they
sugar skulls are
absolutely
gorgeous, aren't they?
would
They're
be.
such fun.
Yeah. And then when you send the kids out to the car to find their lunchbox bag, could you go and get it, please? So we can pack your lunch up.
And if it's dark, it's going in the dark.
That's it. Now I forgot we had this one.
It works really
And it's
well.
exactly that colour. Because we don't have that purple in our planes.
No.
We always struggle with that purple. And I was like, hang on a minute. What? Just love it. And you've got the metallic dragonfly in here. Such a pretty one. Again, that's the last of it. When they're gone, they are gone. Oh, look at this one. We've only got 3 of these. Oh, I love how that picks up the pink and the...
Yeah. Well, I started off with that, and then I put it next to that peaceful blue, bumbleberries, and I was like, oh.
Well, what are we going to do here? Now, this is the last of the Zarafa. And again, I've got to show you this as well. Because, look.
There's a little smidge of blue in there that echoes the blue in the leaves.
And there it is. And this is what we love doing. We love finding these colours for you. We absolutely love it. And then this, with that blue, is beautiful because it's got deeper, darker bits of bluey green. It just, yes. Only 3 of those.
You're close up still.
Oh, sorry. You might want to see that then, mightn't you?
Softens the red and brings out that grey blue.
Doesn't it? So then the last one is your... Oh, well, there, you see, that's appropriate, isn't it? Because look, there's your fairy clocks. And we've put it with... that silver metallic, again from Lewis and Irene, so that it all ties in a treat. What a treat they are, Jane.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Seriously, they are. That one! Hey! Will that do you?
We'll keep them going for a while.
You know, I wasn't going to buy any more fabric for a while, says Alison. But those half-metre heavens are paid to that. I mean, we are practically giving them away, right?
Yes.
But this is
2 designer fabrics for
$9.99. The price of fabrics are going up. Like I said, I had a big meeting with one of my suppliers yesterday, and he's like, Tash, by the end of the year, he reckons it's going to be £8 a half metre, £16, and going up to £20 a metre.
The cost of
cotton.
Yeah.
So when we offer you fabrics like this, please take advantage of it, because
it's not going to be
this isn't going to be what we're going to be able to do for very long. We'll do it all the time that we can, and a lot of our suppliers have been fabulous and already absorbed price increases.
Yeah, there's been several, hasn't there, over the last few years, and they've just not added it in.
But they can't do it anymore. So when you see stuff like this, it would be rude not to. Oh, Laurie says I've spent her money again.
We're good at that. Sorry, Laurie.
Valerie says, loving the half-metre heavens and love the quilt, but must not succumb to temptation. I will have to super glue my hands to my chair legs to stop them creeping onto my keyboard and ordering more lusciousness. If it makes you happy. Not the super gluing your hands, like that wouldn't make anyone happy.
That would make anybody happy.
Unless you've got a really fit doctor in A&E.
Well, that's
But
true.
you can't guarantee that, can you?
No.
Jacqueline's like awesome half meters. And I've got Lowe's cardigan. Didn't I have it first? I think I told you where to get it. But, we'll share. That's fine. But could you do the washing bit? Because I'm really bored with washing. It never goes away.
No, it's an endless task. It's a horrible one.
It's a thankless task, let me tell you. And it's all over my hall landing.
We could maybe...
Oh, here we go. No, I've got box here. And yours organised, sort of, in my own little way. There we go. And then the lid goes on, and then if HP comes on, she can't, climb on it.
Climb on it.
I'm going to high-five you, remotely.
Yeah, virtually.
Virtually, yeah. Oh, hang on a minute.
Or what?
Sorry, everyone. Just need to get this.
Face bomb.
Whoops.
We love a Natasha face bomb.
Oh, you lucky thing. Me in HD. What more could you want? Well.
Oh, wonderful.
There
Hi,
we go.
good morning, everybody.
Morning,
Good
Jane.
morning. Happy Eid to all our Muslim friends.
I thought you said Happy Easter. I was like,
Oh,
we've done that.
Eid.
Happy Eid. Is it Eid?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh, we're going to be able to eat properly. I couldn't do it.
How many days of fasting is it?
I don't know. I really don't know. 6 weeks or something like that. Somebody will correct me on that.
Do you know what though? I bet you all their stats and everything come right down because fasting's so good for you.
Yes.
Oh, Karina says, isn't it? Can't wait to spend them. Do you know what? A half me to heaven's for your birthday. Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Nice.
Oh, Elizabeth says, oh, Jane, you do look pretty.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, it's good. Not that she doesn't most days. Yes, Jacqueline says, that colour pops beautifully. Love this.
Thank
Oh,
you
lots
very
of love.
much.
Wow, Jane, you
Wow.
look stunning, says Karen Hughes, who...
Screen is filled with people telling you how beautiful you look.
Yeah.
Lovely. It's amazing what you can do when you wash your hair and put on some red.
It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
It's also National Limerick Day today because it's
There was a young lady called Jane.
who like to sew in the rain.
She didn't have much choice because she lived in... I don't know.
No. And then found it quite a bit of a pain.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Rubbish limits. 'Cause
Susie's there saying fab,
it's Edward
fab
Lear's
blouse,
birthday, I
Jane.
think.
Um,
You can tell I was stuck on the motorway listening to the radio.
quite a long time. I have a whole book of limericks. I love a good limerick. I just
Yeah.
can't ever make it up. Margaret says, I love Jane Alcock in that blouse. Beautiful colour. 29
Thank
days,
you.
one phase of the moon. Oh,
Oh,
Eid.
right,
Yeah,
Eid.
yeah.
29 days. That's not as much as 6 weeks, but it's still a long time to be fasting.
Yeah, someone said 40. That's Lent, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 40.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right. Okay. So we've got 3 colourway kits. This is the rainbow one, which the demonstration sample is made in. I love a rainbow. I really do love the
It's
spectrum
beautiful.
of rainbow colours. I'd just have rainbows everywhere if I could. So I just, Natasha has these shelves of beautiful fabric, and I just went through and went, can I do a beige yellow? Can I
Yep.
do rainbow? She's very good. She just goes, yeah, go on then.
I like to share.
So we've got this beautiful selection of rainbow colours. There's a bit of the button mosaic, there's a bit of the garlands, the pebble mosaic, some of the chips, some of the pebble jumble in there. Sort of going from reds through to greens, through to blues, and then a little bit of indigo at the end.
Beautiful.
What I've done is we've given you 30 centimetres, 12 and a bit inches,
Right.
because for the beige yellow, you need 4 2.5-inch strips for the method I do. There's lots of different methods out there, but this is a very simple, basic introduction to beige yellow that was taught to me by Chris Francis at Meadowside Designs, who's amazing. And so this just gives you the taste, and I'm sorry, but once you start, you'll want to do more.
No, you really will.
Because that looks really complicated, and it isn't.
We love that.
The
We love that
hardest
in a quilt.
part of a beige yellow is deciding your colour choices, I think,
And you've done that for us.
and we've
And that's
helped you out
perfect.
here.
Lo says,
Hello,
there was
Lo.
a young girl called Jane.
Oh no!
Who would give people who watch a big pain. She sewed like a witch. We called her a for being so clever. That's Jane.
Oh, well done, Lo. I was worried then. I was like, woo. She posted something the other day about hugging without contacting, and I was like, oh no!
I mean, only with people you like.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
slash love. You know.
And I've paired the rainbow with midnight because I didn't want it black because I felt black was a little bit stark and the navy wasn't quite right. So the midnight is just the right tone to pop those colours, I think.
It's
I think
perfect.
it's nice to have a little border. You don't have to do the border like I've done. You could just even just bind it in that midnight, just to give it that full stop. Just leave the barge yellow flowing as it is. There's so many combinations you can do. The method we do, in the pattern I've made 4 blocks, because they make them in blocks, but you can actually just about get 6 blocks out of it with your offcuts off the end.
Right.
So I used my offcuts to make that bit of border.
Nice.
But you could make 6 blocks, which would give you a longer quilt.
Oh, okay.
I've got, well, I'll show you, because I've brought with me one of my very first quilts that I made.
Have you?
Bargello, yeah.
Is it here?
Yes. The second
Are you
colour.
going to show it?
Yeah.
Share it?
Shall I share it now?
Yeah, you can't tell us and then just go, yeah, I've got it, but I'm not going to show you.
This was made with a jelly roll.
Right.
And as I say, it was Chris Francis's class, and it was called bar jelly because we used a jelly roll.
Oh, I like that.
And this is made. There it is.
Oh, wow.
And you can see I've turned the swing facing each other, so it makes a different shape. And after watching the Lord of the Rings, I always think it looks like the Eye of Sauron.
Yes.
It's a slightly worn out quilt. It's my very first quilt I quilted myself.
Ah, look at the corners. Oh,
These were a
Jane.
different one that's got ink on it. This is what happens when you use a quilt all the time.
Yeah, but it should be used.
It's loved, it's washed, it's faded because it's been on the back of the settee. But it's my first quilt that I very quilted myself, all on my own and it was quite easy to quilt because I followed the square. It looks like it is slightly curved on the edges, and where the larger square that forms the curve is, I did a very gentle curve, all with my walking foot, but basically followed it from point to point, which then takes it through as it is.
Perfect.
I did it on every single colour band, and I also, we get a close-up of that maybe, oh, you can see it actually, you can see it quite well. Because it was a jelly roll, obviously there were some fabrics that were different to others, but I kept the colour spectrum the same. So it's a different fabric there in a yellow, but then that's the same tone of yellow. So it follows it through and gives a nice effect. So sometimes with this pattern you can use a jelly roll.
We've got a few jelly rolls.
You've got a few jelly rolls.
We've got
so,
some lovely ones.
you know, if you like the colours in the jelly rolls, this is another way of using your jelly roller.
Perfect. Saves you a bit of cutting as well if you're not heavily
and then I
into
did
cutting.
the curves in the border to sort of echo that shape. I put this quilt into a quilt show.
Did you? Oh.
Because Quilts in the Garden used to be at Trentham Gardens.
Yeah.
And then it moved to Uttoxeter because they had a mishap with the marquee. And the lady that used to run it, Margaret, she was very enthusiastic and determined. And she used to say to us, "You will put a quilt in, won't you?" And you'd be like, "Yes, Margaret, we will. Yes, okay." And Chris and Barbara were very much encouraging you to do it. So I thought, well, I've quilted this myself. It's my very first quilt. There's a category for your first quilt. So I'll put it in, knowing that really there wasn't enough quilting in the borders. And the judge's comment came back, love the colours, love the pattern, needs more quilting in the borders. Damn it. I can live with that.
Yeah.
I can live with that. So
Fabulous.
yeah, that's one of my very first quilts. Well, my second full quilt that I actually finished.
Amazing.
I've still got bags and bags of half-made ones. But, yeah.
That's normal.
The fun is in the process of doing it and learning things, isn't it?
Yes. Right, what other colours we got, Jane?
So the other colourway, which I'm going to use for my demo, is the reds. And again, we've got buttons, jumble, fern, hydrangea. I called this one hot because it just sort of like zingy and warm. There's a bit of the damask flower, garland, a bit more hydrangea in there. Oh, and banana leaf. Look at that lovely banana leaf. So you can see it sort of goes from yellows, oranges, reds. And I have put that with the black because I think the black will lift it really make those reds sing. So that's the hot colourway.
Hot.
Hot. I don't know where the label's gone.
I love that it goes through to that green.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Oh,
hot.
beautiful. But it's got that purple in it as well, so
Yeah.
it all
Well,
pulls
this is
through.
What I always think, because you make it in a band and what the colours will sit against each other, it's not like you've got that and then that and it stops. It flows through. So I always try and make, when I'm choosing my colours, make the last colour blend with the top colour.
Right.
Just so that it sits. And if you see with that purple, you can see that still sits nicely in because of the blue
As
in
it
the
comes
background.
around,
It
yes.
comes round. So it gives a definition, but still flows. It's not like a full stop, which is not what you always want. So this is why I chose this one, because of this magenta in the back of here just tones nicely with the buttons.
It's just
and
gorgeous.
the red.
It's just gorgeous.
So there
And
is
so
a method
Jane,
in my madness.
Will there be lots left over from the Bargello kit?
There won't be lots. There won't be lots. If you do the pattern that I've done, you won't have much left over. You'll have your offcuts when you've cut your strip, which
Yeah.
won't be a full 2.5. We've cut it at the 12 and a bit because obviously when we cut it, we don't know that it's straight on the bolt and you'll need to straighten your fabric, so you might lose 1/2 inch either way. Well, if we gave you 10 inches to get your 2.5 inch strips, you might not get proper 2.5 inch strips because of the movement of the fabric. So that's why we just said, well, we'll give you a squeaky bit more. That squeaky bit more, saying that, could be used in your border if you wanted to make it bigger, if you wanted to do the 6 blocks and not use the offcuts like I did. Or you could use those squeaky bits to do a border in the dark colour and then bind it
Oh, nice.
in the cave. That
No,
might just add
nice.
another little pop to
We've
it.
had a question. Gay says, can you
Question?
explain why, when going on your site, that the grunges you've just shown are never on them? Well, because they were, well, you can see we had like 2 units. So
Yes,
we had
we
like a
take it-
metre of one.
When
They
it
were
gets
ones
low,
that
we
have
take
been-
it down because we don't want to oversell
Oversell
and not
and-
have
yeah.
be able to fulfil the orders, don't we?
They'll have been ones that we've used in other projects because we don't, and then we've got a few bolts that are full bolts that will be loaded up once we've finished with this. So there will be some going back up, and we are expecting more in. It's just that we don't know when the next ones are coming in. They will then be loaded up. But these are the tail ends. Okay, and to be honest, if I'm being completely and utterly honest, we didn't mark off how much we took out for kits.
No.
So we didn't know how, and I wasn't going to go through and unravel everything and measure it and then like life is too
This is
short.
it, and we don't want to promise something that we can't fulfil.
No, I hate it if that ever happens.
There's nothing worse than having to contact a customer and say, I'm really sorry, we can't fulfil your order because we've run out of fabric, because that just doesn't make you look professional, and it's very annoying for us
Occasionally it
personally.
happens,
Yes, it
but
does,
it's
because
if a
things
bolt
do.
comes up short, or if there's a mark on the fabric,
Yeah, or there's a bit of a
there's
fault
something
in it.
happens.
Something happens, and it
I mean,
does.
we had fabric with a massive hole in the middle of it yesterday, and we're like,
Yeah.
what? I mean, as
Stick
if
your face through it.
yeah, we're like, what? Like, what?
How does that get through
How does
quality
that
control?
even get through? So occasionally it happens,
Yeah.
but given the meters and meters that we get through, it isn't that often. Or we accidentally forget to take something down when it's gone into
Yeah.
something else. So human error occasionally happens, but we really do try. So that's why, and that's what the 1/2 meter heavens are all about. There aren't very many of them because they'll be the end of bolts, and
Yeah.
a bolt takes up the same amount of space.
Yeah, whether it's got
It's got a metre on,
Yeah.
or a full 15 yards. So that is why. There you go. Jane, would you like to show us your very last colourway, please?
This is the cool colourway.
Ooh.
And this is indigos, blues, greens. I love this colourway. I was like, should have done this one first. Because I went with rainbow, because rainbow's my default. My default. If in doubt, do rainbow. Yeah, but I'm a very much, I'm a very much sea colours. So I love the coolness of this. And again, we've got jumble and guardline. We've got a bit of feathers in there. Melons. I snuck some melon in. It's not in the collective, but
It's
Well,
not.
it
It's
just
not the
went.
2021. It was the 2020. It was. That's all right.
and then this lovely jumble and fern and damask flower, a bit more feathers, garlands, and then hydrangea. And again, the hydrangea, there's a bit of green in there that when you put it against the jumble, it just pulls it back in. So it's a nice gradient of colours, and I've put that with the navy because it's blues and greens. I think the navy is enough to set it off.
Nice. Anne would like to know, could we do the shape of your quilt that you just showed us with today's kit?
Yes. 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 Because I used a jelly roll, which is 40 strips, and that's what you need for the bargello.
Oh, there you go. So just spin them around.
I'm going to show you the combinations of patterns and things shortly. Is that going to fit in there? Put that in there. Oh, look at those colours together. Oh, I do like some.
You're right there, Jane.
Yes, I'm just having a moment.
Just have a little moment.
Yes.
Karen says, I've just finished free motion quilting my tiger quilt from the Riley Blake panels from you. I was a little scared to do the quilting, but once I got started, it was hard to stop just doing the binding. Machine. We need to see, Karen. We need to see.
Okay, right, let's get started. At the beginning,
Rachel's husband calls them Bonjella quilts.
Bonjella.
Well, that's Jay for you, isn't it? That's Jay.
Right, the first thing is your organisation. Once you've spent all the time mulling over how you're going to have your fabrics, what combination you're going to put them in, label them, number them. I have a chart there.
Amazing.
And you can see I just got a little, this is how much I got left after I'd cut the 4 strips.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a little smidge off the salvage, just so that it tells me how my combination's going. You can change it around, you can do what you like, it's your quilt.
Jane.
Yes.
Lo's got a limerick about
Oh
me.
no.
Go on. I know, even though Elizabeth has said, don't tell Lo it's limerick day. There was a young lady called Natasha who smiles with her pearly white gnashers. She tempts us with fabric, threads bags and frippery. She empties our bank accounts so quickly.
Brilliant.
I don't know what you mean. I get blamed for a lot.
You've
Have the
taken
extra
them.
wide grunges come in yet? No, Joanna, else I would have been waving them at you.
Yes, we'd been showing you them.
I honestly, I ordered them
despairing, aren't we?
so long ago, and they sent me like 3 bolts out of the whole order that I did. It's just, it is banging your head against everything at the moment, trying to get stuff.
And I think the distributors are just as frustrated as we
all
are.
are.
I think, it's beyond our control,
But
and our
believe you
suppliers'
me,
control,
as soon as
Yeah, you'll know.
we will be wafting them
If
everywhere.
they come in on a weekend, they'll be alive.
Well, I will. I absolutely will. I will. As soon as any collections come through, because the New Liberty, when that lands, that generally will land on a Friday.
Yeah.
In which case, I'll always do a little live.
Well, we know, don't we? Well, you know what you've ordered, and we've got a good idea, and we're just like, we've got that coming in soon. When's that going to arrive? We're all excited about things we know are coming, and of course, we just have to wait. So,
sorry, Jane, I
it's
interrupted.
okay,
There we go.
it's fine. Number your fabrics. Have a little. It doesn't have to be like you could just run your glue pen up a piece of paper and stick the pieces down. Just so that you know, and you've got it constantly to remind you, because you will need to have all your 4 strip sets the same order. You'll get really annoyed if you've got 2 reversed, trust me. So you're going to sew them into pairs, and then you're going to sew the pairs together into 4s, and you'll have an odd set because you've got 10 strips. So each colourway, you're going to cut 4 2.5 strips out of each piece of fabric. So you've got 10 fabrics, 4 strips, you've got 40 strips of fabric. You're going to make 4 lots of these strip sets.
This is where you need your stripology ruler, isn't it? Really,
Yeah, this will help you whiz through cutting those strips. Sew them into pairs. I always say this, don't I? Just keep putting it back onto your table so that you can make sure you've got them in the right order. So I'm just going to sew these 2 into 4s and press them all the same way. So it doesn't matter which way you press them. I've pressed mine to the left, so I've always pressed mine under the uneven number. and then we'll talk about pressing in the next one. The pairs I've lined up the selvage edges so that I know I've got those edges. When I come to sew the pairs together, I'm going to sew from the other end.
Oh, that's clever. So that's how you know.
And also...
Oh, hang on, I've gone to the machine too soon.
Sorry. You will find you've got... I don't know, you know, the fabrics are from the same collection, but they're always different widths.
Just is.
Just pair them up to the shortest end. And because you've pressed the seams the one way, they will nestle. Put my glasses on. I need that. Yeah, got that set up. And just a 1/4 inch seam and whiz them together. A lot of this pattern is in the preparation.
Prior and proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Give your fabric a good spray starch. Try and make sure your fabric's straight before you cut it. That will reduce the amount of fraying and movement within the fabric.
Oh, so Jane,
yes.
I need to tell everybody, you know we did a like and share competition yesterday?
Yes.
Facebook has changed its settings so that everybody that liked and shared, they only shared privately with their friends.
Oh,
so
we don't know whether they shared it.
We can't see who it is that liked or shared. So that fell a bit flat on its face.
Oh, how annoying.
But if you email info@natashamakes.com and just say, yeah, I did like and share it, then we will pick a winner.
I think you just love Facebook when it changes its algorithms.
Yeah. I mean, just thanks.
Just, you know, you think you've got it sussed and then it just changes itself.
Never.
I'm just making sure that my seams are together. Oops.
So what I found, Jane, because you're on the Beast today. When I use the mini Beast to do my strips, it was so amazing.
Yes, because it just does straight.
It just does straight.
Yeah.
It was just I didn't bother.
Now, when you join the pairs together, you're going to press the seam the other way. So this time I'm going to have the seam sitting underneath the even fabric. So just set your seam and then press it away. And it's just making sure that you are, you know, got a nice flat seam and you've pressed it open as much as it is. It's very easy when you're pressing width of fabric strips to press it down and then find out later that you've got a little like pin tuck underneath because you haven't pulled the fabric straight.
Oh, okay.
It's not the end of the world, just take it back to the iron and press it again. So you'll have 2 lots of 4 and a single one. So attach your pairs, rather, a single pair, not a single one. A single pair, attach your pair to one of the last 4, making sure that you've still got your colourway going the right way. I'm just going to sew that down that way. You can really get, when you've got the 4 sets, you can really get a chain piecing groove on with this, because it's a bit mindless sewing really, because it's just literally sewing your edges together. And you can chain piece your strips. So once you know your colour combination and how you want your fabrics to fall, you can stack your strips up on top of each other and you can just do those pairs, whiz them through the machine in a chain piecing style.
Perfect. It's really beautiful. You have done a cracking job on this.
Well, as I say, it's not me, it's my teacher,
no, it is
Chris
you.
Francis. It's inspired by her. It was her pattern originally that I've adapted and written down. So, you know, it all starts somewhere, doesn't it?
Of course it does.
There's not many things that are completely unique in this world.
And we have to learn them, but you have put those colours together, you've found those colours, and I know because I've been tripping over them.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been stacked up in the corner for a while, and Natasha's been going, "What are these? Don't touch them. They're barge yellow. No, leave them. You can't have those." They've been in all sorts of colour combinations. At one point I said, just have a look at that and see if you think those last two colours are all right and if they flow.
No, gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
We do a lot of fabric auditioning, don't we, in the background when we're doing stuff. We're just...
Yeah, we do. And I don't think that we are the only ones.
Oh, no.
At all.
It's half of the fun of the job, really. But as I say, one of the things with the barge yellow is that you can have so many combinations. One of the classes that I taught at, the lady chose greys and then she just had 3 reds.
Ooh.
And when it came out, it looked like a New York skyline.
Oh, wow.
It was absolutely stunning. It was just beautiful.
You see, I'd never think of doing that.
I've seen people do it, you know, a real ombre from light to dark, and it looks stunning. I've seen people doing secondary colours, you know, and primary colours. The combinations give you a different effect each time. And again, once you've had this, done this basic shape, you can then start playing with moving the strips and getting different waves and things like that.
Gorgeous.
You really do have good fun with it. Right, so we're pressing this one this way, and what happens is you get this effect on the back where you've got the seams, 2 seams facing in and 2 seams facing out, and it's quite, this bit is quite, oh, I want to say important, but that makes it sound really serious, but it really does help when you come to join the different width strips together, because it really helps the pieces lock into each other.
Yeah, it just helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's not the end of the world if you get a seam facing the wrong way, but you will find it slightly frustrating. And so then we put the 4 and the 6 together, and we just do it this way because it starts to get quite heavy. And so if you did it, so 2 strips to 2 strips to 2 strips to 2 strips, by the time you've got the 5th pair of 2 strips together, you've got quite a lot of weight pulling it, and again that can just pull on your fabric and distort it slightly. And really, when you come to cut your sub strips up, you've got some quite small pieces that you're going to sew, so if they've been stretched, it's just going to cause a little, not a huge amount, but it just makes life easier doing it this way. And I know this is not exactly exciting part, this bit, but I just wanted to go through sewing these bits together just to help you understand why and the reasons for doing what we're doing. You can, of course, pin them. You know, you don't have to do it by eye like I am doing. If you feel more comfortable pinning them together, then please do. You know, it's all what makes you feel comfortable and how you work, and there's no right or wrong.
Which is what we need, isn't it? And also, you know, you might want to change the colours around. You might not want to have them.
No, you might not like the way that we've done
in
them.
an ombre.
You might change it, and you might. And this is the other thing. Once you've done one, you might look at it and you think, oh, I would have liked to have changed things. When you've got this strip set done, you can see how the colours flow. It doesn't flow in the way that it does on the quilt, because the way we unpick it gives it a slightly different effect. But you get an idea, and you can think, actually, I don't like those 2 next to each other, I'm going to change that round. And at this point you can unpick it and change it. Press that then now. And I always have it facing me, the fabric I want the seam to sit underneath.
I don't know how many times I had to press fabric to work that out.
Yeah, and when somebody explains it to you, you're like, yeah. It took me a while. And it was, again, Chris Francis and Barbara Cheney have been such an inspiration to me that, yeah, I still hear Chris's voice saying to me things that she taught me. Do you know what I mean? When I'm doing stuff, I can still hear her saying, well, if you do it that way, you'll find that it works like this. There's always a reason for doing something a certain way.
Can we just have a moment to enjoy that particular combination?
Whoosh, look at that.
Yes.
Just stroke it, love it. That is beautiful. So you've got this as your strip set. You're now going to make it into a tube. So you're going to take fabric 1 and you're going to place it against fabric 10.
Hang on, this one isn't your favourite colour combo?
Well, it's hard to have favourites. Not normally. I'm standing here in a red shirt. I'm not normally a red, orangey, yellow person.
And yet it suits you.
But I have actually, when I looked in my wardrobe the other day, I've got quite a lot of mustardy coloured tops and things. So I must like that colour against my skin.
Subliminally.
But my house is mostly mauves, blues and greys and greens, combinations of.
Calming colours.
Yeah, I suppose that's what it is really. Now, when you put your strips together, just take a moment to make sure that the fabric is lying flat. Don't get hold of it and think, right, I'm going to put these 2 seams together and do it like that, because what happens is it will twist. Can you see how that's twisted at the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to do that because it's going to cause you problems in the long run. So just take a moment to just lay it out on a flat surface and just make sure that it is lying flat. I don't know if you can see what my seams have done as well. We'll just go back to the reason behind the seams. You can see here you've got 2 facing in and 2 facing out. And the same on there, they face out and those face in. So it goes like that as you sew it. So just take that moment just to flatten it out and make sure that it's lying as straight as it can be, because this will help you when you're cutting it. You don't want it twisting. It's very easy to think, oh right, I'll just line the selvages up like as I have been doing, sewing the pairs together. But you just need to make sure it's lying flat first before you start sewing that final seam to make the tube.
Now, if you've gone for the Cave Mystery fat quarters, I sort of ombre'd all of those, didn't I, Jane?
Yeah.
So you could make a mini one of these, couldn't you?
A fat quarter, you would get, I don't think you get quite enough for a block out of a fat quarter tube, but if they're all the same, you'll cut 8 strips from your fat quarter if you can.
Yeah.
And you'll get 8 strip sets, and you will be able to work out from the chart which ones you can cut and how many more you need to cut from the next strip set.
Yeah.
So you would be able to do it from fat quarters. It's just a little bit more cutting and a little bit more sewing and just taking a moment to work out from the chart which ones you need to cut and which ones where you are.
I find these quite therapeutic to do.
Yes.
And pop something mindless, some sort of mindless TV on.
Yeah, just listen to a podcast or an
Oh,
audio
yes.
book or something and just let it flow through.
Oh, Lo's got to go. She's got to go, girls. Have fun. No swearing, by the way. Jane, witch. Yes. Would it make a difference if the seams were pressed open, says Pauline?
You wouldn't get the locking of the seams, which helps with the flow with your nesting of your seams when you come to put the pieces together.
There you go. So yes, it would make a difference.
It would make a difference. You might be happy with it like that. Again, I'm not going to tell you not to do it, because if it makes you happy having it that way, that's fine. Right, so we're now going to follow the chart, and we're going to cut the strips up into sections. You need to straighten off the one end and find the shortest piece of selvage, which is just there on this one. That's the shortest one. And line up the horizontal line on your ruler with your line of stitching rather than your seam line, just because quite often your seam line can be a bit wobbly. And just trim that bit of selvage off. Okay, we're going to flip that over and start from this side. Now, there's some 3/4 and a half and 3/4 and 1 1/2. You could probably use your stripology ruler, but because it's not, I think it's half inches, isn't it, on your stripology?
And quarters. You can you can move it.
You
You've
have
got
to
the
move
lines
it,
to
don't
move
you?
it.
Whereas I think doing it this way with your long ruler is slightly easier. But if you're very comfortable with your stripology and you know how to use it by moving it and whatever, your stripology will make a breeze of this.
Now that ruler in front of you there is the itty bitty eighths.
Yeah.
If you need that one. Do we need itty bitty eighths?
No, I think we're okay because we're on, I think, you know, the smallest, it's an inch is the smallest piece, and it's 3/4 is the other measurement, and then half.
I like to provide you with every opportunity to measure with every different ruler that we possibly
We
have.
like to meet all of your needs.
We do.
So you've got your straight edge now. So the first cutting piece is 4 3/4 inches. So you cut that one, just move it to the side slightly, making sure you've cut through. I didn't change my blade, did I? I said I was going to, and then I didn't.
Do you want to use the black one? That's got a newer blade in.
Let's use that one. That's a nice light one. I like this. I like the handle on this. And then we go 3 1/2. So on your chart, you have got the measurements to cut the strips, and then this measurement underneath, this number underneath, I'll talk about in a moment. So for now, we're just looking at this top row, size of strips to cut, and we're doing block 1. So done 4 3/4. The next one is 3 1/2. Just move it out of the way slightly, and then we do 2 3/4. And then we do 2, and this is how we get that curved shape, because we're doing each strip in a slightly different measurement.
Yeah.
And then we go 1 1/2.
I've just got your message that you're stuck in horrendous traffic.
But I thought, when I was still at Junction 8 at about the 7 o'clock news had just gone on, I was like, and the radio announcer had said, and there's been an accident between 6 and 5, so there's 45-minute hold-ups on the M6, and I was like, no. I thought, I think I ought to just surreptitiously, while nobody can see me, just text Natasha and tell her that I am on my way. I haven't forgotten. I've got to be here today.
I found that Siri will do it for me, which
I've
is
got
very
to
good
work
of her.
out how to do that.
Yeah, we
because
need to teach this.
The other day I was like, I can't be doing this. I need to be able to do it without... Because I've got the facility in my car to attach my phone to
Oh, we'll sort it
the
out for
sat
you.
nav and everything.
We'll
So I
do
really
it.
ought to do it. But I thought, actually, somebody was looking after me this morning, weren't they? Because first of all, I stuck mascara in my eye, so I had to redo my makeup. And then I couldn't find my keys, but they were in my bag all the time, even though I'd looked in there twice.
But if you'd have been that bit earlier...
If I'd have left on time, I'd have been possibly in the middle of that accident.
Yeah.
So somebody was looking out for me this morning. So
yeah, it all happened. I
it all
told you
happens
about
for a reason.
the nasty smash I had, and when I looked back, there was one gap in the embankment in the trees, and I rolled through that gap in the trees in the embankment, and just a moment before I hit the dual carriageway, a massive lorry went past and I missed it. You know, just all those things. There were so many ways that crash could have been far, far worse.
You just think actually, I'm grateful that I was just a little bit late this morning.
Do you know what? Yeah, I mean, as much as
I was frustrated and I was like,
Yeah.
I've got work to do with the
but do you know what? You know, you're going to be the one that gets to come to work.
Yes, exactly.
And go home again, more importantly.
Yeah.
And my crash taught me gratitude.
Definitely.
It was the biggie for me. And most of all, because Freddie was only about 17 months when it happened.
Gosh.
And I just remember rolling down the embankment going, oh, you've really messed this one up.
Yeah.
and deciding that, you know, actually it wasn't the right time for me. And then every night that I was up with Freddie, rather than being stressed because I knew I had to go to work and I was going to be tired, I just felt immense gratitude that I was there to be able to look after him in the night when he needed me.
Exactly.
So it was my biggest lesson in gratitude I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for having the most scary experience of my life because it
And
taught me
I'm a
gratitude.
great believer of things happening for a reason.
Yeah.
You might not see it at the time and you might think, this is the worst time of my life. Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
But actually, in the long term, you think, oh, well, actually, I learned
Everything
quite a bit
happens
then.
for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have a little alarm that goes off at my phone about 2:45, just in case I'm due to go and get the kids, and then I remember that I've also got to go and get the kids, and it just says, life is happening perfectly.
Yes. Yeah. You might not know it, but it
Yeah.
is. So you can see, this is how much we've got left over.
Okay, it might help if I actually did it that way. Oh, that.
Yeah. So that's quite a bit left over. So this is why I say,
Oh, hang on. So when
This
Anne
is
said, are you
block
going to have
one.
much?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so you make 2 of block 1 and you
Right.
make 2 of block 2.
Okay.
Now block 2 has another 4 3/4 inch strip at the end.
Right.
And this will all become apparent why later on. But you're going to have 2 pieces like this, and then you'll have one that's got slightly less on because it's... So this is why I say, if you're careful with your cutting, you will probably get another 2 blocks out of your end pieces, which could make you 6 blocks. But I use my pieces to do that extra bit of border. So you won't get 6 blocks and that bit of border, you'll get 6 blocks or that bit of border.
Okay.
That's that bit of lecture over with.
I feel we have been enlightened.
Right, okay. So you can see now, I'm just going to...
Oh, look at this. You can
Test this
really
out.
start to see, can't you?
Yeah. Now, the next part on the chart is your unpicking. Now, it doesn't tell you which to unpick between. It tells you which fabric needs to be at the top and which fabric needs to be at the bottom. And this is where your little key that you've made will really come into its own. Keep your strips in their order so that you've got them laid out. And I can't emphasise enough to have them laid out so that you can see, because you'll start to see the colour combination, and it's at this point that you might think, actually, I don't want that stronger colour in the middle, I want that up at the top. And so you've only got to resew this seam here, so you can resew it and unpick it where you think, and just make a little note. This is your pattern, make a note here, say, right, no, I'm changing that to fabric 3, and then I'm going to unpick fabric 2. That's how easy it is. Unpicker. I knew I'd forget something.
In the front of my thingy, there's my scalpely unpickery thing.
Yes, I've seen that. I've seen it.
In the front pocket. In the bit that hangs on to the front.
Yeah, no, because I popped it back.
Oh,
And
did you
there
put it somewhere
Yeah, I
else?
put it somewhere else.
You put it somewhere
Naughty
rogue?
person. Right, so I want fabric 5 at the top and fabric 4 at the bottom. So fabric 5, no, right way up, that's fabric 5 and that's fabric 4. So I'm going to unpick the seam between fabric 4 and 5. This is where it just takes a little bit of working out. And once you've done the first couple of strips, you'll start to see the pattern evolving. And you can, at this point, you can think, actually, no, I'm going to change it. Or you can think, yeah, I like that, and leave it where it is. So you can just unpick this. And I always unpick every 3rd stitch or so on the front. Just cut through them. And this scalpel, be careful because it's like surgical.
Yeah, it comes
Stick
with
yourself.
2 replacement blades as well,
Yeah.
which is good.
It's lovely. I love it.
Are you honestly enjoying it?
Yeah, I love my little set of Inspira scissors. There's a scissor for every job, isn't there?
I just love the fact they all match.
Yes.
I love the fact that they are made for life.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I've set myself the task. I'm going to make Gemma's cutlery roll, but I'm going to make it to fit my scissors.
It's funny you should say that actually, because I had exactly the same conversation with somebody else who wants to do that and bring it on the show for everybody else that's got that.
Yeah.
It might be someone who has a dissection kit that we know in our lives.
Oh. Fabric 5
Right.
is at the top. And fabric 4 is at the bottom.
Nice.
Okay. So the next strip, we take fabric 6 has got to be at the top, which is this jumble one, and fabric 5 has got to be at the bottom. So we just
It's so
unpick
clever.
between 5 and 6. It gets quicker when you get to the really narrow ones.
Oh, Jane, you know we
Yes.
were talking rotary cutters a second ago.
Yeah.
Have you been watching the, the sewing bee?
Yes, I just have palpitations when I watch them with the rotary cutters.
I know, but have you
Stop
seen the super swanky rotary cutter that they've got?
No, I haven't paid that close attention.
Oh, well, a lot of our viewers have
Oh.
and have been saying, can you get that funny looking rotary cutter that they've got onto sewing bee?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can, and I have.
Oh, fabulous.
And we're just loading it now because it's just arrived.
Oh,
which
how
is very
exciting.
exciting. Very exciting.
I saw someone the other day with a motorised rotary cutter.
Say what?
Yeah.
How does that work?
How does that work? They were using it on cardboard at the time, but it was obviously powered. And it was big. It was bigger than the 60 mil.
Oh, no, they're probably like industrial cutting
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
I was
I
like,
did think
ooh.
about that when I got our industrial scissors.
Yeah. And so the next one is between.
And then
we've got
oh, lovely.
a Gemma here with a.
Slightly sad-looking packet.
That's
Not
why I
open
thought
that
I'd
one
have
and
to keep
use
that
it.
one.
So show everyone the nice package.
Ta-da!
You can take one out of the not so nice packaging.
We'll open this one. This could be Natasha's
Crinkles and crumples.
model. It's got a retractable blade,
Ergonomic.
blade protection, safe interchangeable, open close. Oh, look at that.
Hang on. Let me go on a close up.
Close. Open.
Oh, that's a bit swanky, isn't it? Look at that
Very
swanky
comfortable.
pants.
What's that little tool thing? Is that to change the blade with?
I don't know.
Yes, it's got its own little Allen key, look, for changing the blades. That comes
Has it?
out. Boom. How cool is that? Oh, I love things like this.
We're trying to get more. We've got some more coming in from Germany. I took everything the supplier had.
That's really comfortable to hold.
It's ergonomically designed. You know
Yeah,
how
look,
Prim
you've
do
got a
like their
thumb rest,
ergonomic
yeah.
range? It's part of...
Look at that.
Do you want to go
Close up.
again?
Look
So
at
what's
thumb
that
rest
little
on
thing in
there.
the middle, Jane?
That's an Allen key there that pops out. It's like a screwdriver because
hello,
on this
Allen.
side, that's how you take your blade out.
Oh, that's nice.
But look at that. It's got a look. It sits nicely in the palm of your hand with your thumb on the top. Ooh.
I mean, yeah.
Gemma, can I have one of these, please? Sold to the lady with the boys yellow.
And the lovely red top. Sold to the lady in red.
No song about that. Right, where were we? Right, we've got 7 at the top and 6 at the bottom. So we got 7 is the banana leaf, so that's got to be at the top, and 6, which is the jumble. So we're unpicking the seam between 7 and 6.
So basically, you could have done with that about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
So is that right?
it's all right.
It was only when you said I suddenly remembered that they'd come in and I'd forgotten to ask Gemma to load them.
I mean, I do love my teal and pink one. I do love that. It's just pretty.
I
But,
don't
you
care
know,
how many rotary cutters you have. There's always
rotary
room for
cutters
more.
are like scissors, aren't they? You can never have too many.
Do you remember Bex Reed, whenever her rotary cutter needed a new blade, she just used to buy a new one? I'm like, Bex, you know you can replace the blades. Yes, but why?
Yeah, save the environment, something like that, maybe. Never mind.
See, I don't throw mine away.
No, we don't.
And then, of course, I have to have ones for paper and cards.
Yes, that's what they come in handy. You have to have a paper rotary cutter for you.
Yeah. And what I've discovered is, you know, the squaring up, the mini stripology one?
Yeah.
That is great for your matting and layering for your card making.
Really?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes. So much quicker than anything else.
So, well, that's that one. So we've got 8 at the
look
top.
at it.
And you can
Fabulous.
start to see it, can't you? You can start to see where that dominant red is going to... And this is done so that it sweeps up and it comes to the point in the middle and then sweeps down. What you can do, if you don't want it to have that swag in the middle, if you wanted to have 2 swags...
Hang on, double swag?
Yeah. You just start cutting at 1, have 1 lot of 4 3/4 in the middle, and then go back to 1. And on block 2, you would have your 3 ones. So
I don't know if my brain is clever enough to work that out.
You will see this when you're doing it. You will see. I'm waving this scalpel about. Sorry. You will see.
It's only you.
You will see. Once you've done this, you will see how the pattern works, and you can adjust it.
Do you know what?
And you can really play with it, and you can make the swag go higher up and come back down again. It just, have fun with the pattern is what I'm trying to say. Don't do the first one so you get the feel of it.
Yeah, I would have to do the first one exactly as, and
but
then
you
maybe.
can really play with it. Okay. And there's lots of Bargello books out there that give you double swags and swags that interlink, and there's some absolutely stunning combinations. There's one out there that I keep seeing on Instagram and Pinterest that is makes a heart shape.
Are we going to do that one?
Just love that. Oh, I've done. This is what you do. You see, when you're not concentrating, you unpick the wrong seam.
My fault.
And this is how easy it is just to sew it back together.
Jane, are we going to do the heart one?
Well, we need to find the pattern, don't we, and work it out.
But if you know how to do such exciting things.
Ooh. Okay, have a moment like that, are we? Fine.
Be like that. Just be like that.
You know, I said the 3 things today had.
Oh! Talking machines, I must ring Dukey because they are going to let me know what refurbished machines they have this month for us.
Oh, how exciting.
I'm hoping to make it a monthly thing.
Oh, that's lovely.
Because they don't have anybody else that sells their refurbished machines.
Oh, that's good.
So they will all come through us. So if you are looking out for a Dukey, just
saying.
Yeah. If you're going for the semi-industrial tabletop one that I was using t'other day, there is a wait list for those, refurb or not. Just even normal ones, there's a wait list. So just get on that wait list sooner rather than later if you're after that. That's the best advice that they can give. They are on their way, but there is a wait for them. Because there's a bit of a cult following. I hadn't realised.
Really?
I love mine, but there is a cult following. So yeah, just get on the list, and then at least you'll get one. And we're hoping for some more NX7s, but I'm just waiting to hear. And as soon as I do, then I will obviously post on Facebook and everywhere.
Just done it again. Just concentrate on what you're doing. Follow the chart. And as I say, it's so easy because you've just got a short seam to just sew back together. It doesn't take any time at all. When at this stage, when you just think, hang on, that's not flowing. That's not right.
At this stage, however,
it's when you've sewn all the strips together and you look at it and you're like, there's something not quite right there. And you're like, right in the middle, there's one that's upside down, and you're like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want that to happen. So this is how I say, you get to the middle 1-inch strip and you'll see that the darker fabric, or your number one fabric, whichever one you've chosen to be number one, then comes to the point there. And
Oh,
then
hang
we
on.
start going back down again. So following the chart, you can see strip 1 in the middle here. It's unpicked. Top fabric's 1, the bottom fabric's 10. And then we go back down again. So then we're going to have 10 at the top and number 9 at the bottom. So looking at the strip, that's the hydrangea at the top. 10 at the top and 9, yes, so that's right. That's not right. Should be, it is right. It just looks funny. I'll just carry on chuntering to myself. There we are.
No,
there's
no,
fabric
it's fine.
9, there's fabric 10, so we're unpicking that seam there. I just think, you know, I wrote the pattern, well, yeah, I wrote the pattern and you think I'd know what I was doing. There we go. And then we have 9 at the bottom and 8 at the top. So we're just unpicking that.
You can really see, can't you? It's starting.
You can see it really coming together.
And I mean, this might be just a cushion. You know, you might just...
Yeah, you might want to make one of them and think, right, I've done the block now. I know what I'm doing. Don't like this. Not keen. I'll just make that a cushion front. And that one block would do that. Oh, it's not going to do it. Come on.
I need to have the foot down.
Oh yeah, of course you do. I think I'd know that by now.
Yeah, but you've been switching between like 3 different machines, Jane.
Just pop you down and lift you back up again. Oh, well, you're not through there. That's it. Lift it up just to get the tension out. That's it. Get there. We'll get there. It's only 11:30. We'll be fine.
It's all good.
Yeah, they're making bargello over lunch while you have your lunch. Okay, right, go back to the drawing board. We want that one. There we are, fabric 9, fabric 8. You might want to tick off where you've been as well, because that always helps.
Yeah.
So that you know at a glance where you are, because it's very easy to sort of step back and think, oh right, I'm doing, and then you look at it and you think, that's the same, which is what I'd just done.
And I'd have to do it in different colours, tick it off in different colours for
Yeah.
each block as well.
That would always work. Highlighter pen, whatever works for you is fine.
I love that green next to the purple.
Yeah, it just brings it.
doesn't it
Because
just
it's
pop?
got this magenta behind it, it
Yeah.
still blends in.
I am seriously loving this. And you see, I'm like you. So reds, when Emma used to work with us, she would always be the one championing the reds because that was her favourite colours.
Yeah.
And that was why Ems and I always worked so well, because I would always go blues, she'd go reds. And we could also share packets of Revels as well, because she'd always have the coffees and I'd have the toffees, and it all worked well.
What you can do with your strips, if you want to, and if you know, this would help me while I'm talking, is you can just pop the, just rearrange your tube before you even start unpicking, because I can see now that I've got that in the wrong place. It needs to be down one, so it's the chip at the top, but it's not, because it's that way round. Is it? No, it is that way. It's that way round. So is this one wrong? Yes, this one's that way round.
Uh-huh.
So you can see then, and then you know where you are to start unpicking.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'd have to do
and
that.
it makes more sense. And it's that way. We'll get there in a minute. That one needs to be there. That's it. That way around. So I can see where I'm unpicking now. These are the top fabrics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll know then that I've got them in the right way.
It's very clever.
And that's another way of sort of auditioning it as well, because you can always turn that the right way round so you can see it better. And you'd get a visual of what the colours look like in that top section.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to see what it looked like, and that would give you another idea. And then at that point you might think, well, no, actually, I'd like to have that dark colour coming from here up, and it'd stop there and come back down. You know, visually you could get that before you even started to unpick to then sew up, and that would save you time.
That's all good.
I've done this right. Yeah. It's very easy when you're unpicking going the other way to get it upside down and think you've got the right colour at the top, but actually it's not flowing the right way. You've unpicked it upside down in effect. And again, as I say, it's not the end of the world, because you just sew the strip back up and unpick it the right way. But it's just a bit of frustration when you know that you're upside down.
Upside down. Oh, it looks good to me any which way up.
If I can just get myself unpicking a bit quicker.
There's no stress.
We'll get it sewn together and then we can see.
Oh, you're going to sew it together?
I think we should.
All right.
It doesn't take long. And as I say, because we've sewn those strips, press the strips the opposite way, the seams lock really easily. And you can pin, if you're a pinner person, you can pin if it helps you. But because the seams lock, I don't need to pin really. They just fall against each other. I took my time with my cutting, so my strips were all accurate 2.5 inch strips. So they're all going to be, the seams should fold,
Mm-hmm.
you know, accurately against each other. You could just make 2 blocks and then you've got a table runner or a bed scarf.
A bed scarf?
So that you've got that.
Hang on. What's a bed scarf?
It's that one that sits at the bottom of your bed. Just across the bottom of your bed to keep your toes warm.
Oh, I thought that was a cat blanket.
Something like that. Yeah, we've got a towel for the dog. Yeah, so you're going to now sew these together in pairs. Now, if you want to do this so that you can see which pairs you're going to sew, that's fine. You
I
can
think
do
we all
that.
know I would sew them the wrong way around. I'd have to do them.
But you might find it easier to do one pair at a time.
Yes.
And put it back in place.
Yes.
And then, because
how do you know that, Jane?
Well,
how do you
because
know that
I've
about
been
me?
there and done that.
Oh.
Because it's so easy to pick it up, particularly the small ones. When you've got the 2-inch ones together, it would be so easy to sew that side instead of this side.
That's exactly what I would do. Yeah.
And again, you know, you can unpick it, but it's a boring job unpicking, and you don't want to do it. And the less unpicking you do, the better, because you don't want to stretch your fabric, particularly when you've got the smaller pieces, because it's very easy to distort them. And don't forget, you've cut through this seam here, so these threads at the end, the more you unpick, will start to unravel. But you can see that these seams are just locking beautifully into place. You will come to the seam where you did the fold and you haven't pressed it, so you just have to press it with your finger and just make sure that you've got it going the right way. Where you joined the tube, made it into the tube, and you haven't pressed that seam. But it will just lie flat.
Nice.
This is where I miss having you standing next to me, because I could just say to you now, oh,
Could you just unpick that?
Just press those for me.
Oh, we'll be able to stand next to each other one day soon.
I know.
And then
just
you'll
funny,
be like,
isn't
get
it?
out the way.
The little things that you take for granted. that you always had, and then suddenly you realise that you don't do that anymore. It's like hugging people.
Yeah.
I mean, you're lucky because you've got your children that are still huggable.
Yes.
And my husband, bless him, he's all right for a hug.
Well, which is good news.
Yeah.
I think that is the thing. I think that hugging it releases, doesn't it, serotonin, and it's a very healthy thing to do. So I think that's an exciting time.
I did warn Gemma that from next week she better be careful because I'm very much a huggy person.
Oh.
And I'll be like, oh, Gem, you just need a hug.
I think there are going to be those people that were
we've
already
been very proper with each other, and be mindful. We've been very careful about social distancing.
We sort of dance around each other, don't we?
Even though we're sort of very much in a work bubble, but we have been very careful. And I'm just like, you wait, wait till next week.
Just you wait. Just you wait.
She'll just be like, Natasha, I don't want to work with Jane anymore.
She's all handsy.
She's all
peoply.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are going to be those people. Who was it?
I think I saw somebody post on Facebook, just to let you know that if I didn't hug you before, I'm not going to be hugging you
start now. Yeah. Yeah. What was the other thing? Is that those people that were slightly socially awkward before?
Yeah, I've been loving this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can cope with elbow bumping, but please don't get too close to me.
My dad isn't really a people person, so he's spent years trying to avoid having to be near anyone.
Yeah.
Lockdown's been perfect for him. I'm just like, you right there, Dad?
Yeah, loving it.
Gonna have to see people soon.
Yeah. I have realised that I'm not particularly sociable.
I know, me too.
I haven't missed much, really, while I'm... Routine's not changed at all, really.
I know. I've just gone to bed a bit earlier.
Yeah.
Got up a bit earlier. That's all that's happened for me.
Yeah.
But I think you don't have that much of a social life anyway
so
when
once
you've got a 2-year-old.
children that are sort of school age, your social life really does go out the window. And you can chain piece these if you're comfortable with it. Maybe not for your first one, but when you've got that first one done and you feel happy with your colour placement and how the process is, you'll think, oh well, I can cut them all and I can chain piece each section, and that's fine. You can do that. That's perfectly okay.
Jane,
Yes.
you know how every time we clear the warehouse we get notification of a big order? You know how we never know when stuff's coming in?
Have you just had a...
Yeah, it's a good job we've made room.
It's as if we knew, really, isn't it?
It is as if
like we were
we
just
knew.
saying, this, me being delayed this morning, somebody up there is looking out for us and puts the idea in your head, come on, Natasha, let's have a little sale, clear everything out, make some room.
Because the last time we did it, we ended up with 64 cave bolts.
That's right.
I'm just going to say we're not going to be far off again. I've just realised that I did order quite a lot. So my question to you lot is, who likes the cave shot cotton?
Oh, we love a cave shot cotton.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me, yes.
Because some of those are coming in. What else have we got coming in? Oh, I've gone a bit cave retro.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
It's funny because I can hear the delay, because Gemma watches to make sure everything's okay. I can hear you laughing on Gemma's laptop. We love your laugh, Natasha. Don't you go changing it.
Do you know, it's one of those, I've told you this before, haven't I? When I worked at the RSC, there were 5 floors and there was the lift, and I used to work in production during the day, and then in the evening I'd work on the show in props or crew or whatever. But when the prop guys were at work during the day and I was in the offices, they said that they always knew where I was in the building, because when the lift stopped they would hear my laugh on that floor.
Brilliant.
saying? I'm clearly working hard.
Yes.
Clearly.
Enjoying your work.
Yes. Absolutely.
We love that. We love that.
Oh, Lo's watching us from the doctor's waiting room. Do you know we get everywhere? We do get everywhere.
There'll be people going, what's that woman laughing at?
We might
She's
not
supposed to be ill. Why is she laughing?
Yeah, how dare she enjoy herself? I never
You're
think
lucky
to
you
watch
can get into
something.
your doctor's waiting room, though, because we're still not allowed in ours.
You're not?
No, still
Ours make
phone
us form an
consultation
orderly
only.
clue.
Yeah, no, we're still phone consultation unless you're invited in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a few comments on our local Facebook page.
Oh.
Isn't it time the doctors let us?
Maybe they don't want to.
Yeah,
maybe they think
they're
it's a
just
bit
quite
peoply
nice.
out there too.
Yeah, maybe it's quite nice that they don't have a load of ill people in their waiting room.
I think maybe they chose the wrong profession,
Yeah.
Jane, if they don't like ill
Like,
people.
ooh, people coughing.
Oh, there you go. Margaret says, I love a shot cotton. And Caifs are superb. Yes,
Oh,
they
yes,
are.
they are.
They're a bit gorgeous. In fact, when we put those trios together last week, the very first one to sell out was the one with the shot cotton in.
Yeah.
Lo says, what have I missed? And Susan says, people prepping themselves to start hugging. This is it, isn't it? We are actually preparing ourselves to be people again.
Yes. And isn't it, I think it's quite sad that, I don't know, some people don't. I've missed it. I have. I've missed that contact with other people. Right, I'm going to press these. It doesn't matter which way you press them at this point. Ooh. You might want to think about pressing them one way and then the other, because when you come to join the blocks together, that might help. But don't overthink it. You know, if you want to press them all to the same way and then the next block all to the other way, then that's a good way of thinking about it, because they'll interlock then as well. I keep throwing, I don't know whether it's worse having the noise or whether it's me throwing the base across the floor.
Just lock it onto the base.
Yeah,
it's not actually that. It's not that bad.
Make it look
to
like a
actually
proper iron.
iron it with the base
And of
attached.
course we don't take it miles away, do we? Either?
Nah, we don't. Oh, Elizabeth says that John said again yesterday that I remind him of Basil Brush.
Oh.
Boom, boom.
Oh, bless.
Oh, and Kate says, music to my ears, they're desperately searching for the shot cottons. Fingers crossed it'll be here soon. I mean, I've had notification that it's been shipped. Last time it took over a month.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, we had that crisis in the Suez, which wasn't anything to do with
no. It only had to hop across from I don't know.
Oh yes, it comes from Holland. Is it
Holland, yeah. But UPS managed to lose all our tracking, which was very helpful.
Oh, nice.
The fun we have, honestly, you just couldn't write it.
It's an adventure every day.
Right, absolutely. Oh,
You'd be able to
Susie's
write
had a
a
hip
book.
replacement.
Oh,
Not our Susie.
no.
But
I
she's
was going to say
watching
that
from...
was quick. Because I only
she
saw
was
her
really here
yesterday.
She was walking fine.
Bless her.
Yeah, oh well, I hope you're feeling better soon. Yeah, Susan says her GP surgeries are doing their best to keep people out too. Do you know what? Yeah.
It's actually probably something that might continue, because having a phone consultation, you're probably more, I don't know, is it easier to talk to your doctor over the phone? Have you got his undivided attention when you're talking to him on the phone? And he's not looking at his computer screen and talking to you at the same time?
I think that you miss certain cues if you don't see someone face to face. I think there'll be certain things that you would miss. Lo said, yeah, it is after 3 phone consultations and her threatening to carve what's wrong on their forehead with a compass. I mean that that often does it.
Yeah, I'd see you, Lo. Yeah. I'd be right there. Yeah, come on in.
Or would you still want to at a distance if she's threatening that?
Would you like to speak to the psych nurse at the same time?
Yeah, when there are 3 other nurses in the room with you, then you know. Oh, we're going to get the Bargello pattern up in digital. Right, it should be up in minutes as a digital. Yeah, Bren, if you want to track an order, then you email info@natashamakes.com and SJ will track away.
She'll be on it. She will, because
Oh, there you go.
good.
The digital version of the Bargello quilts are now live, says Josh.
Thank you, Josh. You're a star. He's a superstar. So you can see I joined the strips into pairs, and now I'm drawing those pairs into fours pretty much the same way as I made the strip set. Again, because I don't want to add any extra weight onto the block as I'm sewing it, because we get, as we've said before, particularly in that middle section, you've got some quite small pieces that could quite easily stretch. So.
All right, Karen, she says, Basil brush? No. Mad as a brush? Yes. I'll take any brush reference, I think, right now.
It's joyful. That's what it is. It's joyful, and we all need joy in our lives at the moment.
Oh, there you go. Susie says that the nurse liked her William Morris face mask. Thanks to Natasha Makes. I mean, we're spreading the joy.
Aren't we just?
All over the shop.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think it'll be nice for some people as well, won't it, to be able to go and sit in the pub rather than sit outside freezing.
Yeah.
It's ironic, isn't it, that this time last year we were in the middle of a heat wave and we'd have given anything to go for a pint of cider at the pub, even in the garden.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we couldn't. And now we can, and the weather's awful. Sit in the middle of a thunderstorm.
And yet, we do.
Yes, we still do it.
Well, those of us that don't have children.
Yeah.
Who would whinge and complain about having to sit outside in the cold. Anne says, do you use a little longer stitch to sew, Jane?
No, I still use the same stitch. I use a 2.6 when I'm sewing on this machine, which is my regular stitch that I use for all my sewing. If you wanted to use a slightly smaller stitch, then yeah, go for it.
Oh, she wanted to use a longer one, I think.
A longer one. I wouldn't use too longer one because, as I say, you're cutting through seams, and so you don't want it to really unravel as you're laying it out and unpicking, because it can have a tendency to do that. You can see each time here I'm putting them back in place, just making sure that I've got them in the right order.
Oh,
it's
yes,
very
you are.
easy
Look at
to
that.
tip it upside down when you're not looking. You know those little pixies that sit into your sewing machine and turn your sewing round.
Oh, Anne says she's like you. She doesn't look too closely when they're wielding their rotary cutters.
No.
I've missed a few episodes. I need to catch up.
It's because they're sewing around pattern pieces and they're curved and they've got nothing to protect their hands, because we've got the rulers and we've got that ruler to protect our hands. And they're doing this and cutting towards themselves, and I'm just like, oh, I can't look.
I think we've been spoilt with our education, though. I mean,
Yes.
I spent 4 years on sewing quarter, sewing with some of the best in the industry, and you just take it for granted that people know the basic safety stuff. But actually, I mean, anyone can pick up a rotary cutter and go for it, can't they? And and you just hope that they're going to be safe. I remember when they handed me Freddie after he was born, I was a bit like, instructions? Well, like, anyone could do. Hang on, anyone could do this. And
are you
just
sure?
take them
I
home?
don't think I can.
No, dear, what? What?
It's that first nappy explosion, and you're like, how am I going to cope with this? It's in the back of his hair.
What do you mean I can't hang him off the washing line and just hose him down from a distance with the pressure washer? What do you mean that's wrong and frowned upon? I was going to dry him like that as well. It's Cornwall. We have quite a good breeze.
I've also sewn that side and the threads come out. Oh dear. I remember him doing a nappy explosion as I was just about to go into the supermarket.
Always, yeah.
And I was just,
Foot down.
you know, when they're new, when they're new, you're just like, I don't know how to do this.
You just, yeah, there
You're
are
tired,
no words, are there?
and they're just like...
I was quite lucky. Freddie generally quite enjoyed the supermarket. And because he was a very happy, smiley baby,
Yes.
everyone always used to stop and chat to him and coo over him.
Yeah.
Oh, Victoria Pete's watching us this morning. She's sitting at the laptop working on some pattern instructions.
Oh, nice
Always
job.
lovely listening to you two chat. See, Victoria, I bet it's warmer in Gibraltar, isn't it?
We can go and see Victoria.
We can! Oh, she was talking
We're
about a
allowed to
sewing
be to
retreat. We
Victoria.
could, and we could probably hug her when we got there.
Yes.
Yeah. Karen says, thanks for making my ironing go quickly this morning. And great tip about quilting the bargello. I have 2 Quillo bargellos from SQ to do. Just stack up those things to do.
Yeah.
Pam says, yes, Lo, you are. She says she's a ray of sunshine.
She is.
She might have added in an extra...
She certainly brightens my day. I know that. I love
An extra word to just emphasise that point that I can't really repeat. Oh, Margaret says the William Morris face masks. Her husband said he wouldn't wear them, too flowery. So I use plain fabric for the linings and he wears the wordy bits and gets loads of compliments for them.
Lovely.
There you go.
That's lovely. Now you see, if I did that,
Hang on.
it's upside down. Now,
Oh.
if I'm looking at it, I've
Yeah.
got this jumble here and I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine. That would just give me another pattern. I don't like it. I want it this way. But
It would give me one I really hate.
yeah, but that's how easy it is, just to whack
get
it
it round the
down
wrong way.
and just keep checking it every time you've sewn a pair together. Just keep going back and making sure that it is in the right place, because it
Oh, there
would
you
be
go.
so easy to pick it up.
Victoria says, come and visit. Lots of hugs at the airport for anyone that wants one. Are you just giving them out for
I could go
free?
and do that, couldn't I? I could stand at the airport and go, free hugs.
22 degrees today and not a cloud in the
Oh.
sky. Oh,
Just be quiet, Miss
Yeah,
Pete. There's
keep it to yourself.
That's not fair. It's actually not too bad here, but there's always that little black cloud in the background, isn't there, that you think, that's coming over and going to empty itself any minute.
was it last week on the show that we looked out
Yes,
one
it was
window?
thunder,
One
wasn't
window
it?
was
We were like,
black
what's that
and the
noise?
other was blue. We were like, what's going on? Oh, Margaret says, my sister once got off a plane wrapped in an airline blanket after her firstborn had an incident.
God. Yeah.
Oh, I think every parent has been there.
Yeah.
Every parent has
Everyone.
been there. That's why if I ever make bags that are for children or anyone that has children, you make them reversible as well. So that, you know, if
Yeah.
anything gets
Incidents
spilt
can be
or
reversed,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Got to be done.
Right, we're nearly there. One more seam and we'll see the beauty of it. The beautifulness.
Jen, you're going to finish this off, aren't you?
Yes. I'll make you a bed scarf.
Oh, there you go. Margaret says that her lovely postie isn't wearing his jacket. Must be warm.
Yeah.
Our
Mine's kept
postie.
his shorts on the whole time.
Yeah, that's so's ours. Mickey
They
the
were out
post.
when we had that snow. One of our postmen was delivering with his shorts on.
Yeah, no, so was ours, but he did have a pair of leggings on underneath. Is that Mickey the
They
post?
said-
What, put your
I
legs
said to him,
away.
what are you doing? He said, oh, there's a sort of a bit of a competition between us all to see who can keep them on the longest. I was like, I think you're winning, are you? He said, no, there's another chap out there with his on.
There's another madman out there the same.
My dad was a postman for 30 years. There is a badge of honour for anyone who can keep their shorts on for the entire winter.
Oh, there you go.
And when you go into trousers,
Yeah.
they all rip the mickey out of you in the sorting office.
Do they?
It's an actual thing. Yeah.
Oh, Joe. Oh, here we go. We're getting the lowdown. How
We're
many
getting
years
the
was your
lowdown
dad a
now.
postman?
30 years.
30 years. Your dad was a postman. And it's fair to say that he was a postman so that he could go and race his pigeons in the afternoon. Yeah.
Method in the
And
madness.
there is a badge of honour for postmen. I'd like there to be an actual badge of honour. Otherwise, we could embroider one
Which would
for
make them-
those that manage to keep their shorts on all through the winter, and then they get the
Anyone who goes
Mick
in
ripped out of them.
trousers, if they and going in their trousers, everyone takes the mick.
If they go in their trousers, they get the mick taken out of them. What about lady posties? What
Yeah,
do-
we've got.
Ridiculous.
They're not as ridiculous. Oh, there you go.
Even men that
They're
do
more
it.
sensible.
Do you know, here's a weird story, right? When I moved to Cornwall, my mum gave me a book about a lady who moved her entire family to Cornwall, a bit like we had, and she became a postman woman, and postal worker, and how she got to become accepted into, because the Cornish don't all embrace you for the first season or so.
Yes, you're running out.
They take a bit of warming up if you've come from that there England, and her book was absolutely charming. I loved it. It resonated. She'd written another one. I read that, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And then the year that Freddie was born, I ended up working at the Eden Project as a Christmas elf.
Yeah, as you do.
Shut up, Gemma. Everyone needs a 6-foot elf.
I'd love to read your CV. I really would.
I am so better qualified for that job than you are.
By about a foot. Yeah, Gemma's like, I'm better qualified by about a foot. Anyway, I rock up, and Father Christmas is a really lovely man, and we get on incredibly well, and his wife is gorgeous, and they come round for dinner. She's the author of the book.
Really?
She's the author of the book, and they are
amazing.
such lovely friends. And FC is just the best Father Christmas you would ever meet. And if you've ever done Christmas at the Eden Project, if you ever are in Cornwall for December, go. I know it's a bit pricey, but just go because it is magical. They have this enormous kind of teepee yurty thing with a roaring fire in the middle, and all of the elves have different elf posts, and sometimes you're elf in charge of navigation, sometimes you're elf in charge of wrapping, and they have a little toy train set that goes around and goes behind the scenes, so the kids put like a little note onto Santa and it goes round and then it comes back, and they've got sweets on from it's just all magical. And then we have a little story from Santa, and then they get and it's all done in 40 minutes and then out they go. But it just, it was really good fun.
Super.
But not a job for life because it's only on for 30 days of the year. It's a bit rubbish. Shut up laughing at my 6-foot elf. You can't discriminate.
Can't be sizist about elves.
You can't be elf-sizist.
So that's block 1. We go overhead on that.
Hang on, her next door got our postman's shorts off. What? Hang on, sorry, what am I going overhead? Sorry, I got distracted by the...
there.
Yeah.
There we are. Look, that's block 1.
Oh, gorgeous. Look at
Isn't
that.
that lovely? And then this is block 2, and you'll see that the difference is that we've got that 4 3/4 strip.
Oh,
at
so
the
it
other
just
end.
joins on, yes.
So if I pop that,
Hang on, where did you whip that one out from?
one I made earlier, it's not block either. That's why I wanted to get this one made.
Oh.
Because I wanted to show the combinations of the blocks. So to get the row like I've done, to get that swag in the middle, this is block 1 and block 2, and you sew them together like so.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
So you've got a 4 3/4 strip this side and a 4 3/4 strip this side.
Jen, it looks like a volcano.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's amazing.
It's just lovely.
We've got to finish that off for Freddie because he will think that's a volcano,
Yeah.
and then we'll have to applique dinosaurs on it.
That's what you can do. So you can have it that way, and that's fine. And then you put the next pair of blocks underneath, and it gives you 2 swags going like that.
That is beautiful.
If you wanted to turn your 2 strips for imagination's sake,
oh, look, you get a star.
you can do that, and that's the one. Now,
Oh, that's the one that you did, right? Yeah.
Now, you may want to take that strip out when you put your 2 rows together, just so that it carries on the pattern like that, and you don't get that double block on there. So that's something to think about. And you can also put them together this way, and again you might just want to take that block out so you don't get that double block. You might like that double block effect.
I quite like the
It
double
gives
block effect.
gives you a solid piece, but that then gives you the lighter circle in the middle. You get like a circular shape there. So there's there's several ways. So maybe make your blocks and lay them out and have a play, because the different colourways can create different effects.
Wow.
But that's a bit gorgeous, isn't it, that way?
Yeah. Then it looks like a cave. You know, have dinosaurs coming out of the cave.
So,
You are a clever thing, you stitchy witch.
well, as I say, it's all down to Chris Francis. Now, this is what I was talking about, leftover pieces. That's the leftover from block 1, and that's the leftover from block 2.
Right,
Now you can see the combination of that, whichever way round we do it, they are in the same combination. You can get another block out of there.
Oh.
So that's why you could get 6 blocks. But as I said, I used mine to make the strips, and I mirrored at the side. I mirrored it, just did 1.5 inch strips in the tubes, and then joined them together and just stepped it down.
Nice.
From where it was. Now the ones at the top and the bottom, I mirrored the measurements of the block.
Mm.
And again, just stepped it. Now you have to just think about that a bit, because you're going to have to cut different pieces. So what I did was I cut my 4 3/4, unpicked the one I wanted, then cut the next one to it off that strip, unpicked it and cut that to 3.5 and unpicked, so that I didn't, because you can't cut all those strips.
Yeah.
So that just needs a little bit of thinking about, but you could do it with just a strip underneath, like around. And the background fabric was 2.5 inch wide strips. Just bordered the whole thing, then put those coloured strips through, and then 2.5 inch strip all the way around again.
Amazing.
And bound it in the same colour, because I didn't want anything to detract. But I think you could do one plain border and bind it in a combination of your strips.
Gorgeous.
Round.
Gorgeous.
That would look quite nice too.
Joanna's asking what the finished size is.
Did
you write it down somewhere?
It's on the pattern.
Yeah, you see, Margaret says, "Wow, that is gorgeous," and I didn't think I'd like the colours. You see, it's deceiving.
You just don't know,
really
do you?
deceiving.
And
because individually, some of those fabrics aren't my favourite, but in there, I wouldn't change them. I wouldn't change a thing.
And the thing with Cafe is, because the patterns are quite large, although we've deliberately gone with the smaller size prints, you get slightly different. It's a little bit like using a batik. It's slightly different, but it's still the same.
Yeah.
So it gives you a movement of fabric. 58 by 52, that size one.
Okay.
If you were to make it bigger, it would be longer. So if you were able to get 6 blocks, you'd add them at the
I'm
end.
with you.
So
it
it makes it sort of longer, but it's 58 wide.
Amazing.
With the 2 borders and the little bit in.
Look at that.
So
And this is also why I love Cave, because you pick up different colours and they just sort of sing through.
Yeah, there's a little bit, because we've got quite a lot of magenta-y reds there.
Yeah,
the magenta that's in the banana leaf pops out, and in the chip, the orange pops.
Just
so
beautiful.
It does really zing it.
You clever, clever thing.
We love it. Get to play with colour every day. It's such a terrible job.
Just awful. Just awful. Now, there was just a message from someone. Who was it? I think it was Anne's. Just email info@natashamakes.com. We'll see what we can do. We can always put you on that list. There we go. Jane, thank you. Thank you. What are you making next week?
We're doing a Lisa Chandler quilt with some gorgeous Summer Palace fabric.
Yes, we jolly well are. Beautiful. Beautiful. I look forward to that.
So have a play.
Yeah.
Play with the colours, play with the pattern, see what you get.
Amazing. Yeah. Gorgeous.
Always good fun.
Thank you ever so much, and thank you everyone at home for watching. Thank you everyone who liked and shared yesterday. Again, if you want to do a little like and a share, that's always appreciated.
Yeah, we like that.
To spread the colourful love.
Definitely. Definitely. We live a little bit cave love.
We do. Take care, everybody. We will see you next.
You want to head down to the craft store tomorrow?
And Friday.
It's
a busy week for me this week.
Goodness
I will sleep on next week sometime. It's fine.
Do you know what you're doing on Monday? Maybe. Might be a little.
No. Well, I've got some ideas, and they will, they'll come to fruition.
Yes. It'll be a lovely surprise on Monday for us.
For me as
all.
well. We'll have a think. I'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of, now I know that fabric's on the way,
Yes.
it might have just changed everything.
Yeah, because there'll be new ideas emerge when you see what you've got.
Is the trouble. Yeah.
It's lovely because new fabrics bring new inspiration, don't they?
Always.
New
Every
ideas.
time.
Lovely.
Every time.
Lovely.
Right, everybody, take care, stay safe, don't get hugging yet.
Yeah, we've got 4 more days. Not that I'm counting.
Who's usually going to be your first hug?
My mum.
Oh, your mum.
She won't like it, but I'm going to hug her.
There you go, Kate. Stand by. Stand by. Elizabeth, boom, boom. Enough of that. Right. We will see you all on Monday. I've got Tim Holtz at the, well, not in person, Tim Holtz Fabric, and I haven't managed to order any for here. So if it's a supply show, it's not coming from me. I do sometimes need to make that really clear because I had someone the other day say, oh, when's that motor fabric that I ordered from you coming? I'm like, no, that was from Ho-Chan. That's a supply show. That's not from me.
Yeah.
Like the corks and stuff come from me, but not that. It's on behalf of a supplier. So yeah, you're not actually getting it from me because she's like, it's late. I'm like, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me.
Not my fault.
No. So yes. So Tim Holtz tomorrow and Friday. So if you want it, grab it from there.
Lovely.
Stay home. Stay safe. Stay.
Well.
That's it.
Yeah.
All of those. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye.